They say love is blind. But sometimes, it's not just blind. It's drugged, tied up, and shoved in a closet. My name is Emily Hart. I'm a psychotherapist, 38 years old. I teach trauma therapy at a private institute in Seattle. I help people heal from manipulation, gaslighting, and narcissistic abuse. Funny, isn't it? For 12 years, I lived in a lie I didn't know I was part of. And on the day I thought I was freeing myself, the day I thought I was divorcing the man who betrayed me, I found out the most humiliating truth of all: we were never legally married. I met Daniel at a friend's engagement party. He was charming, older, confident. A successful investor in biotech. The kind of man who made you feel seen, even in a room full of people. I was 25. Broke. Overworked. Living paycheck to paycheck. He took me to Napa for our second date. Sent me flowers at work. Paid off one of my student loans as a gift. He listened. That was his power. He didn't talk over me, he mirrored me. He made me feel like I mattered, like I was special. I remember one night, he said, "Emily, you have the kind of mind I could get lost in." We got married a year later. It was a small ceremony at a vineyard in Oregon. Just a few friends. No family. He said his parents were dead. I believed him. We bought a house. Or rather, he did. But it became our home. He called me his wife. We filed taxes together. I wore a ring. We had photos. Vows. But looking back, it was all a performance. The cracks started small. His business trips got longer. His phone, always face down. The passwords changed. Once, he said he was in Boston. I saw a photo tagged of him at a cafe in Portland. He claimed it was old. Said I was paranoid. He began questioning my mental state. Asked if I was okay, if I was overwhelmed with work. He made me feel like the liar. I quit my job to start a private practice. He encouraged it. Then told me not to register it in my name. Said he'd handle the LLC under his. For tax reasons. I trusted him. Then there was the boy. Around 6, curly brown hair. I saw Daniel holding his hand outside a pharmacy. When he spotted me, he ducked. He said it was his sister's kid. I didn't know he had a sister. That night, he took me to dinner, brought flowers. Made love to me like everything was normal. But it wasn't. I felt it. My gut was screaming. 3 months later, I got a letter from a bank, addressed to a Mrs. Caroline Blake. I opened it out of curiosity. It was about a joint mortgage on a condo in Vancouver. With Daniel's name on it. I confronted him. He said it was an investment with a colleague. That I was invading his privacy. He became cruel. Cold. He'd disappear for days. Silent treatment. Then return with a smile and a gift. That was his cycle. I started digging. Hired a PI. What he found made my stomach turn. Daniel had a second wife. A second house. A second life, 2 hours north. And a 10-year-old daughter, but it didn't stop there. Her name was Sarah Langford. Married legally in 2011. 1 year before our wedding. I wasn't the second wife. I wasn't even a wife. I was, what? A mistress in a white dress? I remember sitting on the bathroom floor. Looking at the ring on my finger. It was real gold. But everything it stood for was fake. I filed for divorce, out of rage, mostly. But my lawyer called me 2 weeks later. Emily, I can't proceed. You were never legally married. There's no record. No certificate. No license. The vineyard? Fake. The officiant? Not registered. The documents? Unfiled. Everything, staged. I had no rights. No property. No claims. Daniel owned the house, the cars, the accounts. He had even listed me as a domestic partner on his insurance. Not a spouse. I was erased. I broke down. I thought I was going insane. I even questioned my memory. But I wasn't crazy. He was calculated. And the worst part? Sarah, the legal wife, knew about me. She called me. Told me she found photos. Messages. Emails. She had known for 3 years but stayed for the child. That's when she dropped the final bomb. She wasn't the only one. There was a third woman. In Toronto. Another house. Another fake ring. This man was a serial husband. A con artist who lived by performance. We tracked financial records. He had bank accounts under different names. Properties registered to shell corporations. He even had a fake LinkedIn under the name Mark Jensen. With a full resume. We contacted the authorities. Daniel was investigated for fraud, identity manipulation, and bigamy. Turns out, he had changed his legal name twice. He was a master conman. And we were far from his only victims. He served 18 months. Got out early for good behavior. I never spoke to him again, until last year. I visited him in prison, behind glass. I wanted closure. He smiled. Like none of it mattered, like I had been a role in a movie he directed. So I made my own ending. I started a podcast, The Invisible Wife. It blew up. Thousands of women wrote in. Some had similar stories. Some were still in them. I became what I needed when I was lost, a voice. I now work with women recovering from emotional scams, financial manipulation, and false relationships. One woman told me, "You gave me language for what I couldn't name. That's why I keep going." If you're listening, and you feel like something's wrong, don't wait for the truth to explode. Trust your gut. Because the scariest lies are the ones wrapped in love.